room. Now, you've heard the report. You've heard from Samuel, a returned migrant. And I have to ask you, I always have questions. That's why you love me. How do we go about better informing our fellow Nigerians about the dangers of irregular migration? How do we do that? How do we inform Nigerians? How do we do a better job of informing Nigerians about irregular migration, the dangers of irregular migration? Like I said when we started the conversation, we have the spokesman of NEMA, Ibrahim Farinloye. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on Hard Facts.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, listener.
Good evening. And right now, is irregular migration increasing or decreasing? With everything that's been going on, with everything that we seem to know, is it increasing or decreasing?
Well, generally, it is decreasing.
Okay.
It's decreasing in the sense with the success of the sustained awareness and sensitization campaign or creation done by the media organizations and various non-government organizations at their various centers, especially the faith-based organizations. They are doing a lot on sensitizing people on the evils of what irregular migration has portends.
I see. Now, we know all the reasons why so many Nigerians are trying to leave the country. Mostly the reasons are economic. But why are they choosing irregular migration? What are the barriers to regular migration that is turning them away?
Well, I don't think all of them decided to choose irregular migration. Most of them had their documents ready, trying to pursue regular documentation. But the middleman who turned to be a trafficker always deceived them. Deceiving them in the sense that, you have this, I will secure the passport for you. I will secure the visa, another regularized paper for you. And maybe possibly because of ignorance, many of them doesn't know. Instead of boarding their flights here in Lagos or in the center node, they will be taken outside Lagos or their area. And in as much as they are out of their area, they have no control over the movement again. That's why most of them does not decide to go through irregular means.
Okay. Most of them don't decide to go through irregular means. Now, when we hear from returning migrants, we often hear them saying that they had no idea about the reality. They thought things would be good. They didn't know about the hardships related to crossing the desert or the abuses that they would face in places like Libya. But if all these returning migrants keep returning with the same story, how come people are still going? How come so many people have still not heard how bad things are?
Well, I don't know how you judge how so many people, but based on the sustained awareness creation, yes, some may be going, but majority of people, especially outside certain geographical zones, have stopped, even within the national boundaries, from one state to the other. You will see restrictions before a child is released to you to go and do your housemaid, or you want to help your sister, you want in Lagos or Ibadan. The family also think twice that, what do you want to take my children for? So for those who are still thinking, who are still going, they believe that, those who returned, those who couldn't make it are unlucky. And they could be lucky when they embark on it. And these are very, very few people who are embarking, who are still going ahead with it.
I see. Now tell us about the work that NEMA is doing. First of all, how do you find the returning migrants, or how do they find you?
Well, you can see that Libya is a sort of a crisis zone. NEMA does not look for them. It is the United Nations International Organization for Migration that are doing the human job. Unlike every part of the world, the IOM staff in Libya are Libyans. They are Libyans. They were recruited to be IOM staff in order to be able to access some restricted areas and some volatile areas, because they know the nitty-gritty and they know the language, they know the culture. So these are the people who negotiate with the captive, with the militants who release these people. Although some of them have access to the embassies, to liaise with the embassy, and most times when any relation in Nigeria here calls us that, we have so people, so we are still looking for. There are a couple of people we are still looking for, and the last time we were able to contact them was early this year. That we couldn't trace them back again, and the relations both in Zaria, Kwara, all over like that, we are still getting in touch information that we are looking for this. So when we got such information, aside from the effort of the IOM back there, we relate it back to IOM in Nigeria. IOM in Nigeria will give it back, or we send it to embassy. The embassy will work on it, get in touch with those through the phone number, and they get them repatriated. So it's a multi-agency dimensional thing that is not only by one agency.
Okay, not by one agency. Tell us, Farinloye, when the irregular migrants come to you, what do you do for them?
Well, the first thing is psychosocial treatment.
What does that mean?
Psychosocial treatment, most of them, when they are back, maybe by Plight, and most of them who return have trauma. And trauma means they are traumatized. So a lot of things will be diagnosed. Those who need to be treated in the hospital will be treated. Those who need to be counseled will be counseled. Those who need to just go back to their respective family to reconcile and return back will be done. There are several other things that other agencies are still carrying out to rehabilitate the returnees. So these are some of those things, and it's a process.
It's a process. Now, we're making assumptions that a lot of people know the dangers of irregular migration. We're making assumptions that they've heard stories, and a lot of people are informed, and so, according to you, fewer people are likely to embark on these journeys. But for the people who don't know, for the people who are just hearing about this for the very first time, I need you to break down for them what the dangers of irregular migration are. Could you do that, Mr. Farinloye?
Yes, sir. Well, the danger there is, one, you lose your rights. You lose your rights. Once you leave your country, your place of birth, you lose your rights. At least, if not, you can't have your 100% rights as if you are a Nigerian. That is the first thing you lose. The second thing you lose, all the resources, all the efforts you have put in place through irregular migration, you don't have control of it, and you are losing it completely. Thirdly, you stand the risk of losing your life.
Okay. Very short, very straight to the point, very, very simple. Now, we have these migrant resource centers, as mentioned in a documentary that we listened to before you joined us on the show. Can you tell us what happens at those centers?
Well, the center is sort of a center that comprises so many agencies. Mainly is led by Ministry of Employment, Ministry of Labor, and the IOM. The center provides information for any intending traveler or migrant who intends moving out. One, whoever contacts them, that, okay, oh, I want to go to so place. They will make inquiry. Who are you going to meet there? They will get information. Can you get us the phone number? Once you get those phone numbers across to the center will make effort back to the intended country, make effort to contact that very person. And investigation will be done. What work does that man do? If he's working, does he have ability to accommodate extra person that will not jeopardize the person coming? And what means of transport will he do? And if there are, will there be extra job opportunity in that country where the man is going to? Then which means of traveling, of transportation, the man should embark on for his own safety. And there are a lot of things that the sector can do, both in the country and outside the country. These are some of the highlights that I can point out immediately now.
All right. Ibrahim Farinloye, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for the work, the important work that you and your team are doing. Okay. Ibrahim Farinloye is the spokesman for NEMA. NEMA, of course, is the National Emergency Management Agency. Chinayaram Victor on Facebook says, "Good evening, Sandra. As regards illegal migration, government is not doing well when it comes to disseminating information. What happened to National Orientation Agency? What happened to NOA? NEMA will be overworked and overwhelmed if the NOA is not using the power channels to let the masses know the dangers of the journey they embark on. The NEMA officer is assuming the masses don't know." All right. I want to hear from you. You've heard our report. You've heard from the NEMA officer. What are your thoughts on this subject? I told you that according to Nigerians in Diaspora Commission NIDCOM, there are 15 million Nigerians in diaspora. That's almost 7% of Nigerians on earth. Many of them, of course, left the country in legal ways, in safe ways. But a lot of them left the country using illegal pathways. And they have had to risk so many dangers and suffer so many hardships and abuses. We put together a special report that you listened to when the show started, and we spoke with the spokesman of the National Emergency Management Agency. How do you think we can better inform our fellow Nigerians about the dangers of irregular migration? How do you think we can do this? Our numbers are 01277 0993. Join the conversation. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. Again, 01277 1993, 2993, 3993. You're listening to Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts.
Hard Facts. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hard Facts.
On Lagos, we're back. Our numbers are 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. What do you think we can do? How do you think we can go about better informing our fellow Nigerians about the dangers of irregular migration? Kelechi is in transit. Hello, Kelechi.
Hello?
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kelechi. You're live on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard what your guest was saying about immigration.
Yes.
Illegal immigrants.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, what are they actually doing to those Nigerians who are partnering, who are defrauding people? You understand? Because most of the times when some of them travels come back, they know those people that collected them, that duped them, that deceived them, that gave them those fake documents. What do they do? Because definitely, I believe they're supposed to do something in order for them to serve as a deterrent to others who may still want to, dupe people and collect their money. So what are they doing, when they came back and report to those people?
That's a good question. It's a fantastic question, Kelechi. Unfortunately, our guest isn't here anymore. But the next time we have this conversation, I'll make sure to pass it along. And it's a question that often comes up, Now, NEMA, of course, is to rescue the people who are already in a dangerous situation. They're not prosecutors. They work hand in hand with other agencies. It's usually a multi-agency effort, a multidisciplinary effort amongst the different agencies, right? So it's an important question. What happens to these people who traffic the human beings? Charles in Ikorodu says the best way is to inform people by taking advantage of social media. Now, you think the people who need this information are on social media, Charles?
Yes, of course, some of them are on social media.
Okay.
You make use of social media. You can also take advantage of religious places of worship, churches and mosques. And then, of course, the orientation agencies can also do their bit by once in a while coming out and going to the parks and, disseminate this information. But then, one thing about life is that life is all about risk. Sandra, please, to be honest, to be fair to Nigerians, how many of us are really living in this country? How many of us are living? So for those of us who are privileged to have something doing, we don't know what these guys are going through. Sometimes people say, they are lazy, they don't want to work, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do this. But did you provide opportunity for them? These people, if you give, if sometimes I see them, these guys that are carrying heavy loads and you go to the market, you see them with heavy loads and whatever, you begin to wonder, if these people were given opportunity to work, wouldn't they work? The country, a lot of people are going through hell, hardship. There are people who cannot even feed 1 square meal a day.
But
so if they feel that with stories they hear about what happens at the other part of the world, and they feel that they can take advantage of that, and let's take a risk. It's not about risk. So they take the risk.
Charles,
it works for some, it doesn't work for some.
Charles, did you listen to our special report?
Yes, of course.
And you heard the young man on that report, and you heard the experiences of of the different people who decided to go that route. The thing is, life hard for Naija, I no go lie. Things are very hard. But the people who think, it's a risk, do not expect the kind of hardship that they go and face when they decide to go through this route.
Yes,
you
win some, you lose some. That's just it.
Is that it? Is that it? Is that the mantra? You win some, you lose some? Because even this one, there's no winning. It's a lot of stuff ahead.
My sister, now this country we day at the inception of this government, people were committing suicide because they could not feed. Make we talk the truth.
Charles, thanks for calling me. Let me talk to Victor in Ikorodu, who says government isn't doing enough. Hello, Victor. Welcome.
Yeah, Sandra, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, you've kept me waiting for a long time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to, first of all, before I go into the topic, I would like to know what the government is doing in place what are they putting in place to stop all this migration from Nigeria to other countries? What are they putting for those people who go through the wrong act?
Well, people have a right to migrate, so there's really nothing that they can do about people who want to migrate.
Yes, but these people take the risk of passing through the Mediterranean Sea, and it's something that costs life.
Yes. Now, where they can come in is with the borders. Our borders are porous, so yes, the government should be doing more, about our porous borders, because that's where these people often go through. The question now becomes: now that our borders are closed, has it had any effect on illegal migration? That's a question that we'll have to answer some other time.
Well, to me, I would say that it has not stopped, because once you still go there, you still see people trying to migrate because of the hardship of the country. So what I feel best the government should do, that they should enlighten those who are going through those processes, who are going through those risks traveling, and they should put down things that will make them not to take those risks. At least it will help, it will stop, it will reduce those things. It will reduce traveling by risk. So that's my own take on it.
Thank you so much for calling me, Victor. Clement in Ikoyi says this is as a result of poverty in the country. I agree with you, Clement.
Yes, am I on to Sandra, please?
Yes, you're live on the show. Go ahead.
Okay, first to start with, the best from my own perspective is putting in place employment opportunities for Nigerians. Because as we speak, there are a lot of people down here without jobs. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then you also address the issue of soft loan facilities for Nigerians. We have, if job opportunities are there, the loan, soft loan facilities are equally put in place. Mm-hmm. That will also help Nigerians to stay back and do what they ought to do to earn a living in a better form than going out to Europe to earn a living. Okay?
Okay.
So that is how I look at the situation. Mm-hmm. There is no job in the country. There is no soft loan facilities on ground.
Yes, but the way to make the trip, the risks that people take to make the trip is not worth it. So how do we get the message across to every Nigerian that this thing, we don't say life hard for here, but if you want to do it, sell land, sell something, gather the money and do it legally.
It's not worth it, the way people go about it. Of course, there's no reason for selling land and all other valuables to travel overseas. But there is no job, and man must work.
Yes.
What do you do?
But can you not try to work in a way that does not endanger your life? That's actually where I'm coming from.
I think I quite understand the point you are making, as in terms of protecting your life from dangers on the high sea,
or even in the desert, because they have to go through the desert sometimes.
Yes, you're right. So I think what I see there is, on the part of Nigerians, let's try to be content with what we have. Some of us have the job, at least, to manage, but we still want to cross over there to live like the bigger boys. I think that is another problem within us.
I don't think there's anything wrong with living like a big boy or a big girl, Clement. Let me talk to Charles in Mazamaza. Things are not exactly easy in the country. I agree with you, Charles. Welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Sandra.
Yes, welcome.
Sandra Ezekwesili.
It's fine. Just say Sandra.
Thank you. I enjoy you a lot.
Thank you. He's fine. He's enjoying his leave.
Thank you. My name is Charles.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I go with my namesake, Charles.
Okay.
You know, just go and ask all these people who ride keke how much they pay a day. The type of tax they pay to who? To Agboro on daily basis. You know that so many of them, after working for a whole day, some of them close 11 o'clock, and yet at the end of the day, they cannot meet up their demand at home. Do you believe this?
I believe it.
It is not the way to run a country, honestly speaking. We don't run a country like this. We're not getting it right. My daughter at 21 traveled to South Africa recently. He said, Daddy, when he came back, he told me, said, there's a difference between living and existing. Millions of Nigerians are just existing. We're not living. Yeah. Good evening.
All right. Good evening. Thank you so much. We've got Mr. V from Surulere who says, Sandra, as regards illegal migration, government is not doing well when it comes to disseminating information. I think Mr. V is the same person who sent us a message on Facebook, because that's the same message that you've sent again via WhatsApp. By the way, you too can send me a message on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75825. Richard is in Orile. He says the government will not be able to change things until they put the necessary things in place. You think so, Richard?
Of course, yes, Sandra, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, until they put every government, not this present one, every government, they should put things in place. You understand? Then the illegal migration will reduce. Because for now, right now, there's a lot of injustice in the country. So all this thing makes people to look for where there's justice in terms of employment. If you want to get a job in Nigeria, you have to bribe. You have to give something before you can get a better job. So all this thing discourages people to stay. They have to look for where they will get justice so they can survive. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you for calling me, Richard. We've got Aribidesi. I hope I said that right. I apologize if I... How do you say your name, sir?
My name is Aribidesi.
Aribidesi, welcome to the show. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm enjoying your show, and the topic you are handling this evening, I was so impressed about the topic.
Thank you.
Because I myself, I go to Libya through desert.
Oh.
2000 or so.
Okay.
So I spent 2 years there.
Okay.
People are complaining that Nigeria is hard and this and that. With Nigeria, we are looking for bigger something, not all this small distance. Unless we go outside and you will see yourself, you see it by yourself that you can just accept that you can make it in your own land. It's not worth it to go through that desert.
Tell us what you went through, sir.
When we are going, I left Lagos to Kano.
Okay.
From Kano to Katsina.
Okay.
So we crossed border at Katsina to Zende. So on the way, you go to Dreko. From there, you cross border to Saba. So the journey is not an easy journey.
Did you make it on purpose, or did somebody tell you that you were going to go somewhere and they deceived you to go somewhere else?
No, I have an uncle that come from Libya at that particular time.
Okay.
So I followed the man to Libya.
Okay. Did he explain to you that things were not easy in Libya?
He didn't explain like that. But then, even though he explained to me like that, I will still embark on the game because I'm desperate to leave this country then.
Oh, I see. So for you just wanted to go to Libya. It's not Europe that you wanted to go to.
No, I want to go to Europe from there.
Okay.
But I just want to leave the country first. Let me see myself. Yeah. Let me see for myself. And there is no money. To travel by air is not easy.
It's not easy, exactly.
Yes.
Tell me what happened when you got to Libya.
Well, when I got to Libya, I can remember, we are 4 in number. I have one of my cousin. So when we get to Sabah, there's no work there. That was downtown.
Okay.
There's no much work there.
Okay.
So we are just doing all this petty work there. There's no money. So we are now to move to uptown. There it's not easy from Libya. Nigeria, you can enter bus from Lagos to Kano. There's no any issue. But from there, when you want to go from one state to another state, it's a big problem because there are a lot of all this barrier at the road, checking point.
Okay.
They will stop you.
And you didn't have the documentation?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So they can return you back to the state you are coming from. So there's no free movement there. So when you don't go to their capital, you cannot see even a good job to do.
So as bad as things were for you in Nigeria, it was worse for you in Libya because the only place where things they happen are for the capital.
is the capital.
I see. And to get to the capital, now hard stuff.
In art, it's not easy. I later get to the capital because that time there is a problem that Nigeria government are bringing some people back to Nigeria. So I now enter bus from that Sabbath to Benghazi.
Okay.
So when I get to Benghazi, I leave the camp to town. That is why I just start my life doing all this bricklaying work.
Okay.
All those things. We go to Syria, all this stuff, we do it like that.
Why couldn't you do bricklayer work here in Nigeria?
That is the problem we all have. Some work that you can do here and have earn money, you will be ashamed to do it. So that is the problem. So when you get to that place, you see for yourself, then you come back, then you will know that Nigeria is not better than risking your life to all those routes.
At what point did you decide, I don't tire, let me go back to my country?
I did not even tire, because what bring me back home is my cousin that we go together. He falls sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the guy cannot eat. He cannot shit. So the tummy are just coming up. So I decided to bring him back home. That is
and you took that dangerous trip again back.
Yes.
Hi, Aribidesi. I'm glad that you're here to tell us this story today.
Yeah. So when I come back, that is when I got married. I have children. I have my own apartment, so it's not hard as I'm thinking of. Nigeria is hard, but it's not worth it to risk your life through that trip. It's very, very dangerous. Many people have died.
Yeah.
That they are all their problems. They didn't even know that those one has died. You die sometime. The lorry that used to carry people cross the desert, they will load like 200 on the vehicle.
200 people.
Yes.
In a lorry.
Yes.
Wow.
And most of the lorries, some get lost inside the desert.
My goodness.
Lost. They can't get to their destination if they have missed the road. You just be going until their fuel finish there. When people have died inside the desert,
it's not
worth it to be risking their life.
Aribidesi, thank you so much for sharing your story with us on Hard Facts. Kunle, we're so sorry for keeping you waiting, but that was an important story to tell. Kunle, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. How are you today?
I'm very well. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Hi, Sao.
He's on leave. He's enjoying his leave.
Oh, great. So we need to understand something first. That these guys that go through irregular migration don't do it free. It is not free. Those guys that purportedly help them collect a lot of money from them.
Exactly.
So now we should not see it from that perspective that they live because they are hungry. Most times, no. They just want better life. Maybe I'm earning 30,000 from the report that we heard. I'm earning 30,000. I feel that if I get to Libya or Egypt, I can earn 500,000. Most of them are deceived. And that is where the Ministry of Information comes in and the NOA. There has to be a mass mobilization like we had during MAMSA to let people understand that, yes, Nigeria is tough. But it is tough out there because nobody picks money on the road. You have to work hard. And when you migrate illegally, there are so many things you don't have rights to.
Right.
And you cannot get a lot of things. I think we have to do a lot of that. Then the perpetrator of these guys that help them to go through all those funny routes, they have to be brought to book. We have to show example. When people know that these guys are dealt with, it might curb it a little. I think the Ministry of Information has a lot to do. NOA too has a lot to do. The people too have to understand that money is not free anywhere in the world. Even those that migrate regularly, I have few of them as friends. They will still tell you the first 1-2 years.
It's very rough. Easy. Yes, it's very rough.
Always very, very rough. And those are the guys that have migrated
legally.
legal. That's what I really think. The Minister of Information has a lot to do. We have a lot to do. You guys are doing a great job, so you need to do more.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling to share your thoughts, Kunle. Irene says in Bagada blames it on greed.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Irene. You think it's greed?
Yeah, I think it's greed because, look, to do this trip costs nothing less, a minimum of 500,000. If you talk to any of the people that have done it before, see, these guys pay a lot of money to embark on this trip. This money that they are using or they are paying to these people, they can use it to start up something here. Do you understand what I mean now? Mm-hmm. Because it's not cheap. Talk to any of them. It's not cheap to move. Sometimes they convert this money to dollar. Do you understand? Mm. So, simply because they promise them that they are going to end up in Europe, they pay as much as 500, 700, even to $1 million to move. Mm. You understand? Mm. So, and that is one. Then secondly, I think government needs to, have a deliberate policy to restore dignity of labor or dignity in labor in Nigeria. Let me explain something to you. Do you know, it's very difficult for if you're a taxi man to say you want to toast a girl in the street of Lagos. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
Even girls that are not doing anything, that are jobless. Do you understand what I mean now?
Okay.
So, or you say you're a laborer or something like that, or you're a cleaner in a bank or something. Mm-hmm. So you need to find a way to restore dignity of labor.
Well, that's probably inaccurate. I'm sure that there are some kinds of women who will pay attention to a laborer or a taxi driver or a cleaner.
Women,
yes,
Sandra.
yes.
Some
I mean,
women.
no, but at the end of the day, if you have to cut your cloth according to is it your coat according to your cloth?
Sandra, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
For a girl who is jobless, or let me put it that way, who doesn't have a job, okay? How do I put it now? It's not like his father is so much wealthy. Or
so she should just what? Not have aspirations. She should just say.
Can I ask Sandra?
No, this is not the conversation we're having. I resemble.
Sandra, hold on.
This is not the conversation we're having. Let's focus on illegal migration. Let's not go down this rabbit hole. Let me talk to Joshua. Hi, Joshua.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, welcome.
So, my own contribution on this is that we Nigerians have to be contented with what we have, one. And secondly, our government have to take a very serious action about this. For example, now, there are many workers out there, and there are some unions that we don't know they are ending, and they happen to be collecting tax unnecessarily. I want to talk particularly about now riders here inside. Like you see, they will remit money, estate money. They will collect 300 naira in the morning, 300 naira 200 naira in the evening. If you calculate 100 Okada in one bus stop, they will remit about 51 million something in a year. And we don't know even where their ending is. We don't know how it ends. So I think some people are pressurized this way, and if they happen to be doing small things like this, they will feel like it's even better for them to risk their life. But the important thing is to be contented with what they have. This is what I can say.
All right, Joshua, thank you so much for calling me, and thank you to everybody who has contributed. We have to remember, of course, that one of the big contributors to irregular migration is that the borders are porous. I've mentioned this. The traffickers who lead the migrants across the border are able to operate with impunity. It's the same way that those who are smuggling goods in the country are able to do so with impunity. And it raises a very serious question about our security agencies. Why are they unable to secure the land border fully to stop this irregular migration? Some people will tell you that, it's because ECOWAS citizens can cross the border without documentation. There's no way to stop them at the border. But isn't there? If we had regular border patrols, if we had well-trained border guards and security agents, wouldn't they be able to tell that something is off about a particular group? I mean, people are traveling in a large group, usually men. Aribidesi said 200 in a truck. A trained officer should be able to tell by their body language that they're deferring to one or two people in the group, like their leader or their guides. At that point, the security agent should be able to ask some probing questions, which would make it very clear that these people don't know where they're going. But you can't even do any of that if you don't have enough security agents patrolling your border. So how do we solve the problem with our porous borders? If we don't solve that problem, we may have to deal with this for a very long time. Now, the government has launched these migrant resource centers, which are meant to inform people about how to go about leaving Nigeria properly if they want to leave, and how to avoid dangers. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's a good idea. But a lot of people will also say, oh, it's not enough. Most Nigerians do not know that the migrant resource centers even exist. You probably just heard about these migrant resource centers for the first time today. So if they decide to leave Nigeria today, the Nigerians who don't know, they're not going to say, let me first check with the Migrant Resource Center. Nope. They will talk to their friends who know somebody that has traveled to the abroad. Or they will talk to family. And then they will get second-hand and third-hand and fourth-hand gist. And they'll end up in the hands of these traffickers. So perhaps the resource centers are not the best solution. Maybe what's needed is a solution that goes to the people to give them information instead of waiting for the people to come and ask questions. Maybe what government needs to do is partner with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info to broadcast information about this issue, just like we've done today. I'm betting that today was the first time you have ever heard about migrant resource centers, and that's good. So imagine if every week NEMA were on radio every week in every town talking about this. Imagine if in those broadcasts they told people how to contact the center closest to them. Do you think that would help? Do you think more people will get informed? More people will be better informed about the dangers of this irregular migration? 01277-0993, 01277-1993, 01277-2993, and 01277-3993. Unfortunately, I have time to take only one last call, one final call, and then we wrap this up. Okikiade is my lucky last caller. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Sister Sandra, my last caller.
Yes.
Engineer Okikiade from Prayer City.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Hey. My sister Sandra, this is about the third time the last few weeks that you have covered something about these experiences of all these people that came from Libya.
Exactly.
There was a writer, a lady that you first of all wrote about. Then there was a young girl also who survived.
Yes.
Are we not learning anything from all this? Sister Sandra, I'm really sad about all this. Do you know that the case of someone that is now working in one of the hotels, in a big hotel in Lagos, it's also an eye-opener.
Yes.
But like one of the callers, I actually asked, where are all these people who assisted them to go with 500, after they have paid 500 naira to these traffickers, 500,000 naira or 1 million naira?
Yeah.
Can this organization help us to fish them out?
Important
Hello,
question.
Hello, ma.
Important question. Important. Very important.
Yes, let them put some searchlight on them. Let them arrest them. I know that this organization. I'm just hearing about this resource center. You said that. I'm just hearing about it today.
Yeah.
Is it in all the 36 state capitals?
It's not.
And in Abuja, or is it only in Lagos and Abuja?
It's in a few strategic states.
Okay. Just like NAPKIP, please. I think that I'm really sad because most of these people that came back from Libya, do you know that maybe some of them have found their way to South Africa again? So what our government should do is to make the greener pastures, greener in Nigeria here, than so that our children will not be going abroad again.
Yes,
honestly.
indeed. There is a
Thank
lot
you
of
very
work.
much.
Thank you so much, sir, for calling to the show. Call us again. I beg to differ happens today. Yes, I've missed it. I'm sure you have as well. It's happening after the news. Don't go away.
Hard Facts will be right back.